guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Alexa, what's the time please?
It's 9:51 p.m.
Sorry about the last video cutting out in the middle, but I'm having a problem with my iPhone storage. So, the driver of the taxi parks outside Telemon Close. I don't live there. But he parked near a red car. He'd calmed down towards the end and he was actually speaking to me like a human being after being spoken to like a piece of shit when I first got in the taxi. So he'd calmed down. The fare came to £9.20. My mum gave me 20 quid, gave him a £20 note, he gave me a £10 change. I got out of the car with Max underneath my arm. He got out of the driver's seat, lifted up the boot, handed my bags to me. I walked across the road in the rain with the dog under my arm and 3 bags over to the flat. I heard dog barking. Pressed the buzzer to get in, went in. There was a package on the floor, pretty young thing. I haven't ordered anything. So I left the pretty young thing bag on the floor, walked through the communal door, got in the lift, pressed 1, came up to the first floor, got out of the lift, dragged the bags and the dog under my arm to my front door, put the key in, went inside, and everything seemed okay. And there wasn't a smell of cannabis, because a lot of the time I come into my flat and it absolutely is stunk out with cannabis stench. It smelled okay, there wasn't an overpowering smell. My mum was covered in the oil that I'd given her for her birthday. She was absolutely drenched in it. She had been burning the candle almost to the end, so I walked into her flat and she smelt like an Arabian Night, you know, Turkish covered woman with perfume and scent. It stank. All the windows were open and the French windows, all the windows were open, and it looked like a candle had been burning for hours before I'd arrived. So the candle was almost melted down right to the bottom. And the perfume that my mum would have got on her birthday had been nearly emptied. And oil is strong, so she was covered in oil. Most of the bottle had been put all over herself. And all the windows and the door was open so I could breathe and the fan was on. So I got into my flat, had a cup of coffee, put things away, and whilst I was round there, this is what Sue shopped in Morrison's for my mum. Sue knocked on the door, right, and she gave my mum 2 boxes of Caesar dog food. Nothing else, just 2 boxes of dog food. Sue goes into my mum's twice a day and she's a friend of my mother's. She's my mum's next door neighbour. She looks after my mum. Right, my mum has given me 2 boxes of Felix that Sue had got from Morrison's. And it came in a bag with Morrison's and the number 13 on the front. 13. Unlucky for some, that number. Sue said to my mum that she was going to come back later on after I had gone to show my mum pictures of swans. We get swans around Rochester Riverside, don't we? I take pictures of swans all the time. So my mum was worried about me eating. She always gives me a stash of food, which I'm quite grateful for. She's given me some slices of beef, some crisps and other bits and pieces, okay? So, because my mum worries about me, right? That's what I wanted to show you. And the other bits that I was given. My mum gave me some extra large tissues as well, and she said this is what she she had for a birthday cake. This is what my mum had for a birthday cake. Not me, my mum. Half a Swiss roll. She said she gave Sue some of that. I've been given some milk, and there were some other bits and pieces as well. I said I've got some roast beef slices, mineral water, Evian, smoky bacon crisps, cheese and onion crisps. So I've got plenty of food to eat. Came back into my flat, like I said. Then I had to take Max out for a walk because I don't take Max out for a walk where my mum lives because of the trouble I had last time with some kids kicking a ball at Max. He's very tiny, and a ball hits his head, he could get hurt really badly. So I don't take Max out for a walk around there because I've been intimidated. Right, I go to the shops by myself sometimes, and I am scared walking down the street. Luton Road is a very prolific area where there are drug addicts and there's been murders. But at the end of the day, you know, if you stay indoors, you don't get anything accomplished, do you? You just become a recluse and a hermit, and you just rot to death. I took Max out for a walk. It was raining. It poured down when I was in the taxi. It literally pelted down, but it calmed down a bit when I took Max out, about 7:15, 7:20, maybe even later. Walked around Common Creek Wharf, along the riverside, onto the field as I usually do. And there was a guy with a white dog throwing one of those big balls on a stick. Those plastic sticks with a tennis ball on the end, chucking that about. Walked around by myself like I usually do, avoiding trouble, and before people started walking onto the path when I was trying to go home, so I walked around a bit further to avoid them, waited for them to go, walked past, cars drew up, people with hoodies going into the co-op, hoods over their heads. And I walked home, and it's incredibly, you know, isolating and lonely. I know I've spoken to my mum all day long, but Sue, made eye contact with me once, and then felt like she was showing off to my mum. Veronica was on the step with a hood over her head, so again, no interaction with other people. It's isolating, it's lonely, it's confusing, it's upsetting. I've done nothing to nobody. I'm a very kind person. And I'm just living a solitary life. And it's been like that since I was a little girl. Having things thrown at me, my coat thrown out of the window at school.